So hey everyone, I'm Shahar Vaknin, Team Axon team leader in Hunters. Team Axon is a team of threat hunting experts. We provide threat hunting and incident investigation services to Hunters customers. Today, throughout this Oktoberfest, we're going to have several threat hunting spotlight where me and my team are going to present and highlight some of our major threat analysis, research, and investigations on some of the biggest campaigns, vulnerabilities, and attacks we've seen in the past year. The first one is going to focus the MOVEit vulnerability and the huge campaign which conducted afterwards and affected thousands of organizations worldwide. On the first part, we're going to talk about the vulnerability itself, how it works and how it became such a large impact vulnerability. And on the second part, we're going to provide you some of the tips on how to respond and mitigate such cases in the future. So let's start. The MOVEit vulnerability, the MOVEit transfer server is a server used for file storage and sharing, which is developed by the MOVEit company. On the end of May 2023, MOVEit disclosed the critical vulnerability tagged as CVE 2023-34362. This vulnerability is a SQL injection vulnerability, which allows an external attacker file access both read and write, so as arbitrary code on the victim server. According to Census, more than 3,000 servers were exposed to the internet on the day of the vulnerability disclosure. This led to a huge ransomware attack, which was later attributed to the Clop ransomware gang. So all of these ingredients of easy exploitation, wide attack surface, and sensitive file storage led to this massive ransomware campaign. Now let's see how it all looks like in numbers. According to TechCrunch, MOVEit was the largest hack of 2023 and one of the largest hacks in the recent history. As I mentioned before, according to Census, 3,000 servers were exposed on the day of the vulnerability disclosure. This led to around 1,000 servers, organizations which were impacted, and 60 million individuals which were records were leaked following the attack. Now, all of these made to an estimated cost of $70 billion. This according to the Emisoft analysis, which was published last month. Now let's talk on how you can respond to such vulnerabilities and mitigate such cases in the future. Now, this is an example of our rapid response campaign, which was conducted within the team for the Hunters customer. First of all, the thing we wanted to do is to notify our customers that there is such vulnerability which may put their organization in risk. The second thing was providing visibility report to such customers which are using the MOVEit servers and telling them where and if these servers are exposed to the internet, which puts them in much larger risk. The third step was gathering threat intelligence and IOCs. First of all, around the technical exploitation, understanding how an external attacker is able to exploit such vulnerability. And the second part would be gathering these IOCs in order to understand what are the ongoing attack campaigns which are already being conducted by threat groups in the wild. The fourth step was threat hunting our customers, both sweeping the IOCs and trying to detect such successful exploitation on their environments, which, as I mentioned before, could put them in very large risk. Now, the last step would be sharing all of this information and technical details on our Axon Git repository and on our rapid response website. So on the screenshot, you can see first the technical advisory which was provided to our customers. And on the second screenshot, you can see an example of threat hunting where we provided to our customers in order to identify such vulnerable servers. Now, this is not the only vulnerability we've observed in the wild in the last year. We've seen Papercat, Text4Shell, Go Anywhere, and of course the notorious Log4Shell from 2 years ago, which has a huge impact on the cybersecurity landscape. Now, according to our experience and understanding of the landscape, we will see much more such vulnerabilities on external applications in the future. So as threat hunters and defenders, we'll need to make sure we are protected from them. Now, organizations will always have an external attack surface, right? Today, organizations have to have connection to the internet and an inbound connection from the internet to organization infrastructure. In many cases, attacks occur only after the vulnerability is disclosed, which means organizations are not reacting as fast as they should. Our goal is to know early, patch quickly, and hunt for such exploitations proactively. So here are 2 tips from our team to how to do it better. First of all, visibility. Manage your external attack surface. Always know what servers are exposed to the internet and may be exploited in cases of zero-day vulnerability disclosure. So right after you know your attack surface, ensure EDR are installed on these servers. EDRs can allow you a fast detection and response to real-time threats. The second tip would be to ensure these servers are behind web application firewalls. We're seeing many cases in our customers' environments where not the entire attack surface is known to the security team, and moreover, not all of it is protected by their deployed security tools. The last tip would be to use the telemetry provided by other security tools in order to identify and detect such visibility gaps. For example, you can correlate your firewall proxy logs with EDR logs to identify these kind of servers which are exposed to the internet but are undetected by the EDR. The second tip would be to limit access. For servers which doesn't have to be exposed to the internet, don't let them to be exposed and accessed from any IP on the internet. Use VPN and proxy in order to limit the access and restrict it only for authorized personnel. What you can do is to detect inbound connection from the internet to internal devices to monitor such cases where external devices are exposed to the internet and not only to the authorized IPs as they should do. For example, you can monitor the EDR network logs to detect inbound connections from external IPs. That's it for today. For more information, feel free to jump into the Axon Git repository, where we share more threat hunting queries, technical advisories, and expert tips on how to mitigate such cases in the future. Thank you, everyone.